Makes, and today we're going to do a page of stickers. Now generally when you go into Cricut Design Space, it tries to shrink down your page of stickers so it fits around 6.75 inches by 9.25 or somewhere in that range. But if you wanted a full 8.5 by 11 page of stickers, there's a few things that you have to do in order to make that happen. And of course you're going to need a printer and some copy paper to do some testing, and of course your designs and your stickers. So the whole idea behind it is that you can print a full page and you can come up with little stickers like this on a full page. And that's exactly what you want to do. There's nothing really magical about it, but you do have to take a few extra steps in order to make this happen. So before we get going, one thing I'd like to ask you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also to my Facebook group, and visit my blog at betsmakes.com. For the purposes of making my print file, I'm here in Illustrator, and the reason I came to Illustrator is because I just placed a number of my sticker images in the file. As you can see, I have a number of them here, and these are just taken at random just to give us a place to have a registration against it, because some of the cuts are a little bit detailed, as you will see in this particular one. Now what I did on this before I did the print, and you won't see that when you print, are these small registration marks here. I just put an 8 by 8 pixel square in the very corner of each of these items here, and the reason I did that is when we go to take the image and put it into Design Space, those registration marks are going to be the key on how everything matches up. Now, in Illustrator, all I'm going to do here is I am going to print these on sticker paper, but before I do that, I am just going to print it on plain paper so that I can test how the marks line up. But the big key on this part, make sure you put these registration marks in the corner, and they will help you determine the success on how this lines up in Design Space when you're ready to cut. Now what you want to do here now is simply file, print, and print it on 8.5 by 11 on your favorite printer. The next thing you want to do is you want to save this as a PNG file at 8.5 by 11, and then we're ready to bring it into Design Space. Now I've moved over into Design Space and I have uploaded the image that we saved as a PNG, and here it is here. You'll see it all in black, and that is because I wanted to save it as a cut file, not print and cut, but cut. And then I inserted the image into our Design Space board. Now here we are in the Design Space board. I'll just scroll up a little bit. When I select it, you'll still see the registration marks, and the reason I have them in black here is because I really want to see them when it comes to placing it on the board. That way I can be more accurate as to where the registration marks are. Now the one thing you'll want to do is come up here, if you can see this area, and you're going to have to undo the lock. You're going to change the size of this image to 8.5 by 11, and right now I've got it positioned at 1 inch and 1 inch, and that's just so that I can see it. Now that's only going to be important when we line things up. So now what we want to do is move it over, and we're going to take a look at it with the maker. Don't forget to save it. I've already saved my project, so I'll just hit save again just to make sure it's saved. Project Stickers is saved. Now I'm going to make it. Now what it's going to do is sort it out, but now you can faintly see the little registration marks here. Now what I want to do is I want to move this into the corner, but you'll notice because it's picked a 12 by 12 mat that I can't move it any further, so it's going to be difficult to make the change. So what I need to do here is change my mat to 12 by 24. And now I can take my little registration mark and place it exactly in the corner at the 1-inch mark right here. I know it's a little difficult to see, but you must place it directly into that corner because that's going to make a difference in our placement on the mat. So I'm simply going to click continue. It's going to connect to my machine. And because I'm doing a test cut, I am going to select copy paper. Now these are the ones I've been using, so I'm just going to click on popular. And I'm simply going to click on copy paper. So it's copy paper 20 bit. This is my test. I need to load my fine point blade and load the mat. Now I have a picture here of the mat and how I loaded it, and you can see it here. Now I'm simply going to click on the cut and we're ready to go. I just have to press the buttons on my machine and we should be able to cut out the pieces. One little point here, you'll see how I have placed my copy paper on the mat. I put it right at the 1-inch by 1-inch in this corner, and that should line up with the registration marks that I had and placed on the mat in the image in design space. So make sure you've got this right into the corner, and that should match up when we go to do the print. Now I just want to show you a couple of things here. This is in the corner and I have an image that I want to show you. In this image, as you can see, my little registration marks have cut out, which is fine. This one doesn't seem to appear. I think I've taken them off. But it has come across and it has cut the edges of all of these. I see I have a little bit of white at the top here and a little bit of white on these two, but basically that is a good registration for what I want. You'll also notice that these stickers came out cleanly, exactly as I expected. This one I had put in the white box around it. Now one of the ideas that I had, and it probably worked really well, if you put a little white border all the way around each one of your stickers, then the slight move in registration won't make that much difference to you. Now you can see over here that I have some other images. This is how they cut out, and we'll take a look at this one. This is how everything came out with the cut. Look how perfect these are. So the registration has worked really well. So I hope you've been able to follow through in exactly what I've done. Basically, as a wrap-up, we want to put in the registration marks in the corners, and I'll just go back to this image right here on image here. They are going to cut out, you just can't quite see them on here. And that is an important part of it, so everything lines up. And then once it's cut, simply peel it off and away you go. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Well, I hope you had a lot of fun with that particular project and ended up with a full sheet of stickers, especially if you've designed them yourself. It's really easy to go into Illustrator and create your own. And as a matter of fact, you can go into some of the free software and create stickers from some images that you already have. You can use places like Canva, Illustrator, and there's many Mac programs as well. You don't have to pay for an expensive program. You just have to be able to make an 8.5 by 11 sheet of stickers and be able to put your registration marks in the corner. Those registration marks are one of the keys to making this really work. And of course, I've printed out all the stickers that came on my sheet. A couple of my own logo, I can hardly wait to use those. And of course I borrowed some patterns just to fill up my sheet. And one more. I had a little one with Bet's Makes. Now a simple thing, of course, was to put a border around each one of them so that the registration is a lot easier. So I hope you had a lot of fun playing around with a full sheet of stickers, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my blog at betsmakes.com.